Okay, so right now we're going to look at the film camera and how to load it and unload it. So this is a fully manual SLR camera, single lens reflex camera that takes film. And so in order to open it, you pull this up and pull the latch, and then the back opens. There's a little alcove here. This is where the film cassette goes. It takes 35mm film. There's a 35mm film cassette with 35mm film. Called that because the width of the film is 35mm. The film is inserted here, and the leader is pulled across and then inserted into this take-up spool. Some of you may have electronic or automatic cameras that self-load. In that case, you insert the film and pull the leader across to the red dot, close the back, and when you close it completely, the camera will automatically load the film onto the take-up reel and forward it to number 1. Then you're on your own. Okay, so in order to load this camera, put the film in like so, inserting it here, and then push down and make sure this is locked. You then pull the leader across. You can see that this tongue here is a little shorter, and you pull it across the shutter plane. This is the shutter. Never touch it because it's very delicate. So you pull it across, and then you insert the tab or the tongue into one of the little slits in the take-up spool or reel, like so. The film has little holes that are called sprockets, and they fit over the little nubs on this little reel. So I'm going to click the button, which is the shutter release button, in order to start forwarding the film, and you can see that it's moving. And I want to make sure that it's forwarding, that I can see it going across before I close the back. And it was, so I closed the back. And now I want to forward the film to number 1. So there's a counter up here, right there. And I'm going to look at it and forward the film by releasing the shutter until this gets to number 1. And it may be 2 or 3 to get to it. And now you're ready to photograph. So we have gone over the settings in a different video of how to adjust the aperture on the shutter. So let's assume that you know that, and you're going to go out and shoot your roll. And 35mm rolls of film come in 2 different sizes, sort of, in that you can get rolls with 24 exposures or 36 exposures. And it doesn't matter really which. Certainly it doesn't matter to me which you use. You don't save money if you buy the 36 exposure roll. I mean, you don't pay less per frame, so it's up to you. Anyway, you'll go out and shoot your roll, shooting either 24 or 36 exposures, and when you've finished, the camera won't let you forward anymore. It won't release, the shutter won't release, and you can't forward the forwarding mechanism anymore. If you have an auto camera, it may, when it gets to the end of the roll, automatically rewind the film back into the cassette. So as you photograph, as you take pictures and forward the film is taken out of the cassette here and rolled onto the take-up spool. So when you've finished your entire roll, when you've shot the whole roll, all of the film will be on the take-up spool. And before you remove the film, you have to rewind the film back into the cassette. Again, some electronic cameras will do that for you. Others have 2 buttons that you need to push simultaneously to have the film rewind. And there are 2 so that you can't accidentally hit one and rewind the film. You have to purposely hit both at the same time. This, being a manual camera, has to have the film rewound manually. So you have to do it, or I have to do it. So in order to do that, you'll push this button at the bottom of the camera. Most manual cameras have this, and this releases the tension of the take-up spool. So if you don't do that and you try and rewind the film, it will tear because it won't want to rewind. And if you force it, it will tear the film. So you push the button in, like so. And then this very cleverly designed take-up spool has a little knob that pops, if I could do it, that pops out like so, and then you can rewind your film. Like so. And you'll feel a release of tension after you've rewound the whole roll. And that means that that little tab has come off the take-up spool. And then you'll rewind the film all the way into the camera. You can then take the film out. You don't want to take it out before you've rewound the film because film is sensitive to light. And if you open the back of the camera before you have rewound the film, then you will expose your film to light and ruin it. So don't do that. If you happen to do that by mistake, if you open the back with the film in it, don't just stand there saying, uh-oh, now what do I do? What you'll do is go, oh, and close it really fast with the hope that at least some of the film was not exposed to light. So you want to be very careful. At any rate, once you have rewound the film back into the cassette, you can then open the back, again like so, and take the film out. And now you can process your film. So that will be the next video. Okay.